Hi, it's me, Clara. Time to stream. My lips are looking very red again. And I did have spaghetti again. And I think it's a reaction. I think it's an allergic reaction. Not just straight up tomato stains. Because I did wipe off my mouth. I am not messy. I think the acidity in tomatoes is bad for me. I think I might not have the biology to interact with tomatoes. Although I shouldn't have said anything because it looks okay. But now you're going to think, oh, gross, spaghetti mouth. Excuse me. It is time to get into some game development. So today will be the first stream of my new project. Currently, no title, not even a project name. But I am working on a new title. And last stream I was talking about doing like a compilation game. Something like Game & Watch Gallery, Retro Game Challenge, or something like Mario Paint, Hypnospace Outlaw, things like that. But I kind of got inspired by some 80s fantasy. Things like Neverending Story, Labyrinth, Return to Oz, Thundercats, some music videos. I made this mood board. Hold on. Let me just drag this over here to show you. Yeah. So I created this. And I have a few different images here to sort of sum up my vibes, what I'm going for. So, here I am. So there are a few different pieces of inspiration I'm looking at, but I need to think about it quite a bit more, because that's really all I have. I'm not really settled on much of anything else. I think I want to do like an open world type of thing, maybe like Zelda, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which are games that were also inspired by this type of thing. More specifically, things like Nausicaa and a couple of those other early Ghibli movies. Ghibli movies? I'm never quite sure what the correct way to say those is. It's one of them. Oh, there are games on sale on Steam. Thank you, phone. Yeah, let's look at those. Even though I did already spend my money on a game that was on sale. Sales never stop. Okay, camera. Can we put you over here? That's good. Plastic Duck Simulator. On sale for $1. It's pretty good. I think this game has Twitch integration. I mean, yeah, I've already spent my money, but like $1? I think I could probably handle $1. Does it? It was either this or something very much like it that had Twitch integration. Let me look this up real quick. I'm pretty sure it was this game. Does this indeed? Integration is enabled. New ducks. We'll get names of viewers that are active. Can connect my Twitch account. Why? That's Russian. So it seems like this is a thing. Okay, straight up asked. You can easily enable integration in the main menu and the settings during the game. So this does work. Twitch. I think I should get some ducks. I was thinking about using stream avatars again, but I have to like draw some new sprites, and I don't want to get into that right now. I just want to jump straight into game development. But the ducks. What if I just buy the ducks? I think I will. Okay, yeah. So Steam does not show my entire credit card, like I thought maybe they would. Wait, Steam. Did I say Twitch? I don't even know. Duck. Well, here we go. Demon! That is true, it is a car. Welcome to the stream. So you're pretty lucky you came in the first development stream of my new game. Provided I don't get too distracted by plastic ducks, I'm gonna start working on a game. Does this have to be full screen? I can't see anything. Settings? Yeah, name's on. I was promised Twitch integration, multiplayer. Maybe I have to start a new game. Oh, my bongo cat's on screen. Oh wow, that frame rate. Let's change that to low. Much better. Wait. Sounds like we have our own music here. Collection. There. What a stupid name. I was trying to be punny, it just looks stupid. Why is the caps lock on? There. Yes, save. What's the What's that little thing in the corner for? Oh. There's my duck. Nice. I think I'm earning something by just sitting here. Yeah, I'm earning another duck. However, I need to figure out how to do Twitch. Because that's the only reason I got this. So let's see if we can figure that out. So Twitch integration was suggested. But never put in. My God, a bunch of expansion packs? Ugh. We're all 30% off. I need something a bit more substantial than that. But yeah, none of this is Twitch integration. I'm gonna have to look this up later. Because it's time to get into the game. You? You? And I was thinking about learning how to do code. Do GD script. I don't want this one. Close scene. God, I started this last year. What was I saying? Learning GD script. I think I'm going to do that along the way, because the way I learned Unity was just learning what I had to learn to make everything work. Then along the way, I just sort of picked it up. So I think that could be the approach I take with this. I mean, with Blink Island, I didn't know the ins and outs of every plugin I used. It just worked. So maybe it could be the same for Godot. It's far more complicated than RPG Maker, but I think it'll be okay. Let's see what we got to work with so far. I have basic controls and a camera, right? Yeah, I got a camera following this ball around. And I think I like the fixed camera. I could have it so that you can control the camera, move it around, but there are limitations that the limitations make it easier for me to program. It'll be easier on me to do it this way. And it's kind of like a top-down game, like an old school Zelda, though it is in 3D. So I could do something kind of like the Link's Awakening remake and Echoes of Wisdom. I think I should go more in that direction rather than like a big AAA 3D type of game. Because for another thing, I'm one lady. So I should consider the fact that I have a lot to work on. Did I get stuck? Okay, whatever. Well, this camera is extreme. There we go. Oh! That has no collisions. Or does it? There are collisions underneath, but not on top? What? How's this working? Three D mesh instance. Rotation Euler, Quaternion, and basis. I have no idea what these mean. Top level. Okay, does that do anything? Oh, yeah, that's way out there. Wait, what? Why is it way out there? It shouldn't be. Why is it over here? What just happened? Um, okay, let's turn that off. Okay, it is here, but it's showing way up here, and I did something very wrong. Yeah, if you want to mess around in Godot, you should. Sooner than later, otherwise you're going to be completely lost like I am. Okay, we're in good shape. um, so how about we create another scene? Whoop. So the basics I should be focusing on are moving from scene to scene and saving, which are two things I did not do well with Unity. Okay, so what we should do, add, I don't know, creating some sort of new node. Control. Navigation agent. It's probably going to be some sort of script that I have to make. Okay, I think we need to look it up. Um, Complete the cycles. Wait, what? Swap scenes around a viewport's child nodes will render the image it generates. Hold on, what? A viewport child documents child nodes will render to the image it generates. This holds true for nodes outside the current scene. Autoloads fall into this category and you can initiate scene to file, scene to packed. Why do I have no sound on this guy? You got no sound, help! What am I doing wrong? Is any video working? Yeah? I just don't have sound on this particular video? Okay. Look at this. It can't just be as easy as like hit a button. Hit a button or something. Variable level roots get node. Remove child level call deferred. Oh my god. Should I just look for a Godot tutorial? How I mastered Godot in 5 days? First skill Godot beginner should learn.
I started up a new project and began by creating a basic floor and, of course, adding in that bean character we all know and love when we're starting a first-person project. Next up, I got some basic movement working where the player has a camera on them and they can move around from side to side and jump. So yeah, we solved gravity. We figured it out. I've never done it before, but yeah, 3D space gravity, check. Next up, I threw together a basic map with some cubes and rings, just so I can understand the concept of world building in a 3D space. And after 1 hour of looking through tutorials and documentation, we have a first-person character walking around a map, which actually taught me a ton about how the game engine actually functions, so we can start building our first real game in Godot 4. But yeah, so what do we actually need to do to create this game? So the first thing I want to do is, what do we need to learn? Okay, first thing I need to make randomness. And the reason for that is because a lot of games nowadays, they got random stuff. How do I build a world? This is going to be extremely crucial to world building, if that was not self-explanatory. Next thing that I need to know how to do is to create 3D models. I've never done this in my life, but I'm gonna try it and we're gonna see what happens.
I need to bring my models
The final thing
in.
I need to know is audio. So we'll just write audio. I don't know. I need to know how to do
His
audio
music's
in Godot.
really loud.
And I think that something that's been kind of going around a lot lately is these like catch-em-all type collectible games. I don't know.
Alright, bud. I don't think that any of this is important to hear you say.
Pretty easy to make, not gonna lie. So I think something like that would be a great thing to get started with.
Well, everyone agrees. Most played right here.
Space. So I thought, why not give it a try and see what I can come up with the models that I've created in pixel art as a nice little reference. First on the list has to be the gun. So here's the gun in pixel art or 2D, and here's the gun in 3D after refining from the base sprite. I did the same thing with the golden egg that you'll be collecting and the mushroom that you can jump on, but then things get a little bit more tricky. I tried my hand at creating a little grass block from no reference examples, and finally I made this awesome house, which took me just over 15 minutes to create, so honestly not too bad. I even managed to get in those wood plank textures. I don't know if this takes away or adds to the design, but you know what? I'm gonna count it as a day. So after importing some of the models, I wanted to actually get the real gameplay working, turning this game from a first-person walking simulator into what we're actually creating, which is a first-person physics-based rage game platformer. I got some of the models in my sandbox test environment, so the character actually has a gun now, which is super cool, and we got some pixel texturing, so I added this little pixel crate, and even ammo. You guys have no idea how long this actually took. Trying to figure out how to do collisions in 3D just doesn't make sense in my brain, and it honestly took me so long to do this, but we have now completed our
You could tell us, guy.
which is picking up items.
First I learned this, and then I learned how to do this other thing. Wouldn't you like to know?
Testing. Gonna kind of make.
Alright. What's the first thing I need to learn? Tell me.
I honestly believe that this is one of the first things that you should
Oh, I know
learn
this.
as a Godot beginner.
I know this
once
guy.
you've
I think
mastered
is this
the basics of the
that
engine.
Kevin guy making that bird
It's
game?
another devlog with some progress on my game so far, and also some tips for my fellow Godinsky developers. It has been a few weeks since
No,
I've last showed
this
you
is
the
someone else,
progress
I think.
on my 2.5D platformer featuring this little fella. We have moved from a very basic prototype with simple shapes and a moving camera to a setup that lets me add a 2D background, a middle background, and 3D objects and sprites in the main area of the game. And while my character could run and jump, I still needed to figure out how to make the combat work. So that's what I set out to tackle next. I had already envisioned the move set. It was a mix between Super Smash Bros. And the classic beat-em-up games. With the weekend ahead, I knew what I had to do. Create my first combat system with my minimal programming skills. After a long day of work, I had something functional. But every time when I tried to add a new move, two others would break. I ended up with like that I hell. So the next day I realized that I couldn't like game character. You could manage all of this with a bunch of if statements, checking what state the character is in or is not in, and then run the specific code. But as your game grows, this can get really messy and hard to keep track of. This is where a state machine comes in handy. Instead of cramming everything into a big script, a state machine lets you break things down into separate, clear scripts for each state. So when your character is running, only the code related to running is active. When the character switches to jumping, the game automatically swaps out the running code for the jumping code. This approach keeps your scripts much more organized and easier to understand because each script only deals with the functions and behaviors that are specific to that particular state. It makes your code cleaner, but more importantly, it also makes it more maintainable. You can easily add different logic along the way as your game grows. I honestly believe that this is one of the first things that you should learn as a Godot beginner once you've mastered the basics of the engine. Learning the fundamentals of object-oriented programming, where specific code can independently function in its own state without interfering with the rest, is a game changer. Once you grasp this concept, it will influence everything you program from that point onward. I'll be sharing a few helpful videos in the pinned comment and the description of this video that you should check out next. And while this video isn't necessarily a tutorial video, I will show you how I roughly implemented the state machine to make the combat work. Alright, let's just go straight to the debug mode of the current build. I also just upgraded to the newest version of Godot, and surprisingly enough, most of the things didn't break down. Only the water mesh I had to fix. I'm not completely sure what you guys on YouTube saw last time, because I'm also regularly showing things on Discord. If you want to join, the link is also in the description of this video. But this is the current build. Let me just go ahead and kill a bunch of crabs. Yeah, so that's basically it. That's the video. Thank you for watching. No, I can talk about a few things, to be honest. I think in the last build I already had the movement working, but since I found out how the state machine worked, I was able to optimize the whole movement system, and it's now way more fluent. It doesn't have the bugs that it had earlier. I could add all the little effects, the dust effects, way easier. Something that I really like, and you have to pay very close attention to the character, but the moment the character lands and starts to run immediately, it goes into this little land while running animation. Look, see? Like it's doing this little duck, and then it still runs. That's like a detail that I'm very proud of, and it was so easy to do with the state machine. There's also a landing animation when you just land from an idle point of view. See? It's just skidding animation. There's another detail that I really like, because this game isn't just about fighting. There's also lots of dialogue and friendly NPCs, and I don't want the character to be like aggressive constantly, but I also don't want it to look like this when it just fought an enemy. So I have this aggressive mode. Whenever you fight, it will go into this aggressive stance for just a couple of seconds. And then when there's no danger around, it will go back to the more friendly posture. I also redid the running animation. I wasn't happy with it at all. I think the character didn't really look like the same character when I was running. While it is an improvement, I'm still not happy about it. If you look at the feet, it's way too much glued to the floor. So a future running animation will bounce a bit more into the air. Also, any other animation is still a placeholder, and you can clearly see when I do, for example, the forward air. And I really think it's like the optimal way to optimize your animations in an actual prototype. The real eye-opening moment was how fast I was able to create a combo system compared to the system that I built based on my spaghetti code. Because in the earlier version there was like this punch logic within every other code, and it had to check like different windows of when you were able to combo, together with checking if you were crouching, jumping, not in idle. Everything broke down. And with the state machine, it was simply a matter of when you were attacking during a attack state, you go to attack 2, and when you are attacking during a attack 2 state, you go to attack 3. It's so easy. It's very small pieces of logic within a punch state. So yeah, a idle state, a punch 1, 2 and 3 state, then you go into a aggressive idle animation. There is a jump and a fall state, and I took those two separate because then you can have also a fall state without jumping by just walking off a platform like this. Looks very cool. Oh, I totally forgot about 2 states. There's a crouching state. You go into a shell. And there's also a crouch out or shield out state. I'm not sure how I called it. What a little animation that takes care of getting out of your shield. And there's the uppercut. Boom, boom, boom. Very cool. I really like it. And now we are going into a really nerdy territory for any Super Smash Bros. Fan. But I specifically like the back air of many characters in the most recent game, especially Sonic. Sonic has like the most satisfying back air. It's like this one. It feels so powerful. When he's doing the kick, it also does a little spin. You can see it way better when you're on a platform. And now to get even more nerdy, you can also do a reversed back air that looks something like this. It's basically you running, turning, immediately jumping, and then do the attack. Therefore, you still have the forward momentum, and you basically do a back air while going forward. It's a reversed back air. On to make it on the combat, and especially the back air. And like I said earlier, this is not going to be a in-depth tutorial on how to implement the state machine. I am thinking about making my own tutorial because I made quite some adjustments to make it work for
I kind of spaced out there while he was talking. None of that was relevant to what I needed.
But with that out of the way, let's take a look at the setup. So again, we are now looking
I'm locked
at
in
the
now,
player
I think.
scene. And right over here is the state machine. So within this state machine node, you will find all the different states as like child nodes. I really agree with Shaggy that this is the most Godot way to go about this thing, because this is basically Godot's philosophy, having nodes in nodes. And if you go through all the state nodes within the movement state machine, you will see in the right sidebar that all the properties change. So these are basically the sibling states that the selected state right over here, in this case the idle state, can access and also can return. And by returning a state, it will basically swap itself with the next state. It's probably better if I show you in code. So right over here you have the variables that you can set in the sidebar. This is the enter function, a function that only gets fired once the state gets active. And in the process input function, you can define to which input the game should listen while being in this specific state. In this case, when you are in the idle state, you can jump, you can move, you can crouch, you can attack, and you can do an uppercut. And that's why it is so easy to exclude code in a specific state. I can simply just delete this, and the character can no longer crouch, jump, and punch. And then you have the process physics function. It applies the gravity and some very basic functionality to go about the aggressive idle state and the default idle state. Normally you don't have to do this, by the way, having to play specific animations in the code itself that belongs to a specific state, because you can just put the animation name as a property. But in this case, I have two separate idle animations, the aggressive one and the normal one, and I didn't feel like making that a separate state, because there's no other logic to it. And that is actually what it's all about with the state machine. You are connecting, chaining different states depending on input or any other logic by simply returning a state in the current state's code. For example, if you listen to the get jump input, you can return the jump state. So the get jump state will get loaded. It will also play the animation that is set right here in the properties. And then you will have the different logic that only belongs to the jump. For example, if you also press attack during the process input of the jump state and the direction has a specific match, then in my game the character will do a backward air attack or a forward air attack or a neutral
Dream
air
of
attack.
home
As
ownership.
you can see, the code file is not ridiculously long, and if you compare that with my old code file, it literally has
Oh, my brain, my poor brain. In Minecraft. Well, hold on, my friend just messaged me. I have amazing friends. This guy bought me Baldur's Gate 3, which is insane. Now, did it suck you in? I haven't played it all since So he and I are going to play together. At least you have the Minecraft house, Demon. That's something. Epic houses are nice. I would love an epic house. I have a tiny house, but that's pretty cool. I'm very lucky to have a tiny house. Doesn't he know I'm streaming? He doesn't. I need to tell him that I'm streaming. I need to move him over here. However, I need to go grab a cup of coffee, so I'm gonna let him finish whatever message he's typing. Don't you hate when your friends are like replying to you and they're taking forever? Like, what are you typing? I asked you a yes or no question and you're writing a novel. Oh my god, I can't spell. Alright, I'm gonna go... Yeah, 49 minutes? That's fine. I'm gonna go grab a cup of coffee. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, won't be long at all. On my way out, try to catch my very nice top paired with my very not matching at all Snoopy pajamas. I had a different plan for today. I'll get into it in a minute. Be right back. Hello, Cupcake. Welcome on in. Ah.
That was a follow.
Hey, thank you for following. What a good stream for you to come in on. This is my first time, again, with Godot. One of these days, I'll have a second day in Godot. I'll actually retain some information and learn how to do this. Futanari. Where am I? Here we go. Anyway, my name is Exoclara. I make stuff. I make a lot of stuff. Check out my links. I just released a game. And now I'm sort of in this in-between stage. Trying to do new stuff. Oh yeah. Got a backbone? Kyle, what are you talking about? I don't know what that is. Some sort of controller? I'm just gonna say cool and move on. Alright, guy, teach me how to do the things. How do you do it?
Everything that belongs to the player in one big file. And it really gets messy. Right over here, I'm listening to animation states. I am also playing the animation. I'm setting properties. In this if
Oh, are you
statement
just trolling?
is another if statement. Then
If you have trans or LGBT tags, trolls will be directed to your stream. Yeah, you gotta be prepared for that. And like, if you cause trouble, I'll ban you. So far, you're okay. I don't see why you would troll. I'm just hanging out.
there's an else with an if in an if. There's an else.
Trolls will be directed to your stream, but so cool,
It's,
people.
it's really duct tape, spaghetti code, and it kind of worked at the beginning, but after a while it was simply impossible for me to implement the combo system because it got so messy. And speaking about the combo system, that's actually very easy right now. In the idle animation, right over here, I simply listen to the get attack input, and if that returns true, I return the punch 1 state. If you press attack another time within a certain combo window, I simply return the punch 2 state, and so on.
Oh boy, South
Yeah,
Park,
the
huh?
combo system really showed me the power of the state machine.
South Park's
So
okay
on Saturday,
sometimes.
I think I worked 4 hours on the combo system without success, and on Sunday I made it work in just half an hour by implementing the state machine. But again, if you want to learn more about it, go and watch the Shaggy Devs video, and also subscribe because I'm going to make my own video that applies to a 2.5 3D game. So what's next, you might ask? I'm not completely sure. I'm currently working on the art style. I want the platforms, the 3D.
Okay, guy. So I think that's a good idea. Learn how to do these state machines. He said he had a tutorial here about those. Oh, Kyle, I told you I was streaming. This guy. Okay. Oh, I got a new hat. A Santa hat. You know what? Ho ho ho, bitch. It's Christmas time. You target certain populations and control their weakness. Okay. How to add 2D sprites to a 3D game. I think I can figure that out on my own eventually. Particles, swimming. Limbo AI state machine tutorial. State machine tutorial with Limbo. Is he using AI? Or does he mean like old school terminology game AI?
So
I'm gonna scrub with an old laptop and PS4. I have a PS4, I do not have a PS5. For noob at video games, you don't have to be good at video games to enjoy video games. And I don't have a high-end PC either. I mean, my PC's okay, but like it's on the cheaper side. It's a couple years old too, but you can. What does that have to? Oh my god! What does that have to do with anything? RTX you have? I think I have a GTX. Like it's not very powerful. Let me look it up. I'm not sure. How do you do that? How do you use a computer? This PC. I think this is how you do it. There's my processor. You know, I built my PC and I still kind of don't know how the pieces work. Why isn't the GPU listed here? Oh god. Okay, well. Do you only play like the highest end triple, quadruple, quintuple A games? Like the PS4 is too like old for you? Is that what you're saying? You should go back and play like the old classics. It doesn't need to have the best graphics or anything to be a good game. I don't know how to find my graphics card. I might be a little dumb.
glad you are here. You are looking for a
Please
tutorial
tell me you're
for
not using
creating
ChatGPT,
Godot
buddy.
4.3
Please tell me that.
tutorial for the Limbo AI state machine. You just happened to click on the right video. I'm
CRT
so
costs a
glad
lot,
you did.
that's
You
for
might have seen the
sure.
previous video about the state machine, but that video was way more of a showcase.
I got rid of my
video, really
CRTs a
trying to
while ago
convince
because I
you
was like, oh, these
why
are
you
old.
should learn the
They're not
state
working
machine.
that well anymore.
This time around, we
Big
are
mistake.
actually learning the state machine. This is a tutorial, a beginner's friendly tutorial for you to learn the state machine, the Limbo AI state machine in Godot 4.3. Hi, Charlie from the future.
But you can get those old
I just edited the
systems
video.
to work
It
on
was
newer
over an
TVs.
hour long, so I decided to split them up in 2 parts. This video that you are watching right now
Or
is
use an
more like
emulator.
a preparation kind of video. We are creating a Godot project. We are installing Limbo AI. We are creating a floor with a texture applied to it, and also a character.
Alright, Limbo AI. What is that?
And some basic movement. But that's about it. If you already know that kind of stuff, you can skip this video altogether. Just go straight to the end of this video, and right over there I will add the actual state machine tutorial. And one more thing, Limbo AI, which I really like. So go to the Assets Lib button right over here and click on the search bar and search for Limbo. There you will find, I think, 2 instances. Pick the one with the right version number. In my case, that's 4.3. Click on it, click download. Last but not least, 4.3.
Hold on, guy. You're not even going to tell me what it is?
Pick the one with the right version number. In my case, that's 4.3. Click on it.
Jeez, buddy. Open source C++ module for Godot 4, providing a combination of behavior trees, state machines for your game's AI. Okay, so it is AI in the classic sense. Supports GT scripts. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Wait, what was it called? The thing I was just looking at? Limbo AI. Does not exist. Wait a minute.
And click on the search bar and search for Limbo.
Was it taken off? Anyo? Hello? What's a kilometer? I don't know. Hello, we're learning Godot. Or at least I'm watching videos about learning Godot. I don't think I've learned anything yet. I'm doing okay. I'm caffeinated, so I'm awake. That's a step up from Wednesday. I was very sleepy Wednesday. What'd you have for dinner? I had spaghetti, and I think it was too much for me. I don't think I can handle tomatoes anymore. Kind of killed me. Oh, I have a message. I have a message from my wife. Oh, it's about what ICE did today. The government's arresting people who have done no crimes. So things are scary here right now. Couscous with banana and beef? Banana and beef together. What's happening? This is happening? A mayor A Newark mayor was arrested during a congressional visit to New Jersey. He's chosen to disregard the law. This will not stand. He's been taken into custody. Well, this ain't no political stream, so I'm gonna read that later afterwards. Can't find pictures? I will find pictures of your couscous. Wait, how do you... Is that how you spell it? Couscous? Banana? Couscous with banana. Well, there's breakfast bowls. I'm not even... There we go. So it's like oatmeal. Or... I'm confused. You said beef? I don't know what's going on. With banana and beef. That's one hell of a combination. Beef and vegetables. We're getting sad piano again, and I don't appreciate it. Final Fantasy VI. Something like, but bananas, that's the wild thing that's got me hung up here. I get to eat it again, you'll take a picture? Yeah, you do that, because you don't put bananas with meat. That's weird. Yeah, I love banana, but with meat? What? Hey, don't talk to me like I'm being weird. I put banana and beef into Google and I got nothing because I've never seen that before. Oh, there it is. Beef banana dessert. What on earth? Cinnamon ground beef banana? I am insanely confused. Okay, here's a lot of it. There's a lot of it. Ground beef banana syrup. Okay, don't play the music, please. Made my stomach turn, thank you. Deadass never touch a pan again, yes. Inspired by Jimmy something. Hamburger and banana. Back to stuff. Yes, you're right. I am procrastinating. I'm being bad. Let's get back to it. Thank you. So we're supposed to be looking for Limbo AI, but it doesn't exist. I'm in the asset library. I'm searching all. It doesn't exist. I'm just trying to learn how to do it. I was told to use state machines, which sounds like a great idea, but this plugin I'm told to download, it doesn't exist, so I don't know what to do. And this was from January. State machines seem like a good idea. Why was this not? I'm being careful. So how do you do it? How do I add it? First steps, follow first steps. Tech girl? Yeah, totally. I've proved many times today that I don't know how technology works. It's weird to call me by name. Why? How do you I don't know how it works. I don't know how anything works. Assets. Expand folder. Open in file manager. Call your web friends by their nicks. You could call me Exoclara if that makes you feel better. Is it because before you thought it was a fake name? Okay, that makes sense. Some people say XO, just XO. And it's not shorter. Thanks. Okay, if I just drag this in, is that the same thing as importing? I don't think it, I don't know. Yeah, I think bright or clear. I'm pretty sure. Let's look it up. I think I need to spell it with a C here. Just the name. Clara, give a name. Clear, bright, or famous. Fairies' early male Christian saints were named Claros. Oh, from Latin. Claros. Error was loading it. Yeah, I don't think I did this correct. don't know what I'm doing. It's supposed to make it easier. That's a direct meaning in Portuguese? Wait, if I go to asset lib, what if I just search for move? Okay, so there are things to be found. There are character controllers. What if I just look for state machine? So there are state machines. I think maybe I just can't use the one he's suggesting. So I don't think I can continue with this guy's tutorials. Let's go to something else.
I honestly believe that this is one of the first things that you should learn as a Godot.
Brackies? Yes! Why didn't I think of brackies? Make a game in Godot. Make a 3D game in Godot. Here we go.
As 3 great adventures.
Wait, this is the one? This one was 2, but it's just regular game, and then this one's 3D, so I think I should start with this one, right? I'm gonna go with this one.
As 3 great adventurers once said, "You have my sword, and you have my bow, and my axis." It's a Z-axis. Anyway, if you're looking to add a new dimension to your game dev skills, this video is for you. Perhaps you've just made your first game in Godot, you've put in some sprites and a few nodes, or maybe you're an experienced developer who's just never worked in 3D before. Either way, taking the first steps away from the familiarity of sprites and pixel art can feel pretty daunting. But I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be, and that Godot actually makes this transition pretty smooth. First, the good news. Godot is built in such a way that most of the concepts you learn when making a 2D game directly apply to 3D. This is especially true for the...
Just a moment. There's something I need to show you before we continue. No. If I don't show you, it's gonna bother me.
Hey, Rocky! Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat! See? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Wrong hat.
And now it's time to meet Mr. Peabody.
That's Brackies. Brackies sounds like Bullwinkle. I don't know if you've ever seen Bullwinkle before. It's a cartoon that came out probably before you were born.
And now...
Hey, Rocky! Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat!
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
This is only the magic
Like
bits.
7 1/2.
Now here's something...
Hold on.
Pro rating of reserves with a corresponding shift.
A high... Drop dead.
Heroes of Musylvania, we find our heroes Rocky the Flying Squirrel,
You can see it?
Bullwinkle Moose.
Boy, what a terrible place.
Only too true. Musylvania, Canada insists.
Oh, come on.
by getting money. And so it was.
Advertise. You could make Mussolini the Riviera of the swamps, and I could help you.
Who are you, mister?
Just the head of the biggest
Come
advertising
on.
agency in all northern Canada.
I want Bullwinkle to
What
talk.
advertising agency is that?
Then spy, body boy, I got plans you wouldn't believe it. Sign here.
Right. Now wait.
Okay, you get it. We can continue.
The functionality part of your game. Many of the nodes that you might have used so far actually have a direct 3D version that works in pretty much the same way. So instead of using Node 2D, we
It's a
simply
live
use
action
Node 3D
movie?
instead. The same
Oh,
is true for
God.
area, collision shape, static body, character
Go watch
body,
the
camera,
cartoon. The
raycast,
cartoon's
audio
great.
stream player, and so on. Most of the properties on these nodes are pretty similar, and other nodes like timer and animation player
You loved
don't
it?
even have a 3D
I didn't
equivalent.
see it.
They just work
It
the
did not
exact
look
same
good to
way
me.
as in 2D. And this actually applies to programming as well. Detecting if a raycast 3D is hitting something is done using the isColliding function, just like in 2D. And as usual, you can move a node 3D by modifying the position. Of course, positions
Maybe it was
now
good,
have
I
a
don't know.
third component that can be modified, the
But I love the
Z-axis, but
cartoon.
Otherwise, the procedure is the same. And then, the bad news. The bad news is that while Godot tries its best to ease this transition, the world of 3D graphics is vast and complicated. While 2D games work by drawing sprites, in other words, flat images onto the screen, 3D games combine a lot of different asset data, such as meshes, textures, character rigs, and animations, with the in-engine rendering tools such as shaders, lighting, particle simulations, and post-processing effects. The pipeline for this can quickly become pretty complicated, and it's definitely an area where I see a lot of misunderstandings. But fear not. This video should clear up a lot of the confusion and teach you how you can approach this with as much complexity as you'd like. Creating aesthetically pleasing 3D scenes doesn't have to be rocket science, and we can often rely on the ease of use of Godot to help us out. I've split this video up into two sections. First, we'll look at functionality, how we can design and prototype 3D games in
neither.
Godot. Then, we'll dive into graphics. We'll get a good overview of the many terms thrown around when working with 3D assets, we'll nerd out on workflows and how to best use these assets in Godot, and finally, we'll learn how to render them beautifully in the engine. This video is meant to serve as an overview, not a follow along, so lean back, grab your favorite snack, and let's figure this out. But first, this video is sponsored by Senva. If you want to know more about Godot, make sure to check out Senva Academy. They
Yeah,
offer
and
great beginner
we're
and
going to be
intermediate
going over the
courses,
same things
including a
over and
free
over
introductory
again.
course on Godot. Senva combines fun and practical learning
For some
through
reason,
professional video
coding,
tutorials, written lessons, and
Any kind of
interactive
script,
quizzes.
I
And
can't
what's really cool
retain
is
that
you'll build
information.
real projects
I have to
across
go over
various
it over and
genres
over
from
again.
RPGs
So I'm
to
glad you
board
enjoy
games.
the streams
Senva
because
also has a wide
we're
range
going to be
of
hitting our
courses
head
on
against the
Python,
wall
Unity,
with
Unreal,
this stuff
and other essential
a
tools.
lot.
With a single subscription, which includes a... So we're in Godot, and we want to go to the top here and switch from 2D to 3D. And that's pretty much it for this video, so if you enjoy... Alright, there's maybe a bit more to it than that. Let's create a 3D scene, name it main, and save it. We can create something to look at by going plus or hit Ctrl A to add a new node. We'll search for mesh instance and add the mesh instance
I
3D.
did that.
And here Godot supplies us with some primitive meshes that we can use. I'm gonna choose a new box mesh, and we can of course orbit this box by holding down middle mouse, pan using shift middle mouse, and zoom using scroll.
Okay.
Just like in 2D, selecting something and hitting F will focus the view.
Well, if you're going to be back in a bit, I'm going to pause this for a second and see if I can import a model. I wonder if it's the same as Unity. That was quick. C14. Yes. I thought I saw my dead name in here. It wasn't. Oh, I almost had a heart attack. I wouldn't have written that anyway, but This must be somewhere else. Library? Stream? Is it with the emotes? It is! Why would I do that? Okay, well... The reliable 3D bean? I might not, because I'm not doing third person, or first person. I'm doing third person. The white theme. My wife says I'm psycho for using the white theme for everything. Light mode. Say hi to your brother. Hello, brother. I don't know his name. Assets. It's so bright and cheery, though. Okay, moment of truth. Does this work? FBX to GLTF? Why 3D? Because if I learn 3D, I can do pretty much anything. I can make a 3D game look like it's 2D. Yeah, it's less complicated, but if I can master it, I can do pretty much anything. And I can make a 2D looking game look more impressive by adding 3D stuff to it. Okay, so this is external. I'd rather get it. Wait, what? Why can't I get out of this dialog box? Disable FBX? What is going on? Oh my god. Jevel? Don't take a bigger step than your leg. Am I your friend? I'd say yeah. I'd say we're friends. Okay, asset lib. Importer. A sprite texture. Importality. Unidots. There's a lot here. You want to play Deltarune? Yeah, I need to get back into it and play the other 2 chapters that are out. Also, I need to add this to watch later and do it next week. Because it's almost 7. I hate when I get a late start to streams. Because I want to go for like 2 hours and it's only been an hour and a half. Save to watch later. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, by the way, I finished the Blink Island playlist. Yeah, I only have one that's available. Wait, you use more than one playlist? I used to watch later for everything. Don't say anything, you have an ad? Okay, I am waiting. Oh boy. Let me know when you're back. Good time for an ad. What are we listening to? Genshin. Wonder what happened to that troll. Show stars? Welcome back. Read everything? I didn't say much. I waited for you. But what I was about to say was, I finished this playlist. Shut up, you. So we have pretty much every stream in which I worked on Blink Island. The first one is from 2023. Yes, I am a completely different person. Listen to this clown.
Just completely shift out of nowhere. I want to play some games too, so I think what I'm gonna do for now is...
Jeez. Yeah, a little bit different at least. That's weird. Yeah, I wasn't sure if my voice training was getting me anywhere. I wasn't sure if like I sounded any different. And then I went back and listened to all of these. Yeah, I'm a little different. And I tried. I can still do the man voice. A little, yeah. I can. It's all training. HRT doesn't change your voice at all. It's all practice and hard work. Well, if you're a trans man, then testosterone fixes your voice on its own. So that's great for them. But I had to put work into it. I mean, there's still voice training to do, but yeah, estrogen does not fix the voice. Anyway, what we got is November, December, and then nothing until... When is this? 9 months ago? So I'm missing about 3 to 6 months. Stretch and drink. I will stretch and drink. Alright, let's do a little stretchy for a minute. Oh! What did I sound like 9 months ago?
I might just, for the rest of today, maybe what I'll do is jump into Godot and do a bit of learning.
That never happened. It is a little different. I was starting to try some training there, but anyway, I got into those graphics very early on. Yeah. Just let it go for a while. But from then on, it's pretty much every stream from the past few months. So that's all complete. Yeah, I got there eventually. I think I had a good stream today. And he's so... Yeah, I should have done more. It's been a really stressful time recently. I wanted to wait until October and really have a plan, but I felt like... yeah, I could. But yeah, I just felt like I need to get the game out there because I don't know what's going to happen next week, let alone in October. You know? Unnamed Claire project. I'm trying to think of a cool like project name for it, like project new thing. Oh, I want to show you what I've been thinking of for the game. All we've been doing is talking about Godot this, Godot that. I think what I'm going to do is a game like Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. Like a big open world game, but like on a smaller scale. Because I'm one lady in a little room. So I need to scale it back a little bit, as much as I can. So it's going to be fixed camera, like we've been looking at here. Which you can't see because I'm on the wrong camera angle. I keep going back and forth. I think I can do it. Yeah, it would just be a fixed camera like this, so kind of like top down. So you can't rotate the camera or anything. So I already have it working. So this is it. This is what it's going to be. I just gotta add good graphics and music and level design and story and voice acting and and all the things. Because a big focus of Tears of the Kingdom is like, it's the same thing with my old game. I keep using the word explore, but that's like, it's what I'm obsessed with in video games. And I'm gonna have combats, I'm gonna have like outfits, upgradable weapons, all that stuff. Because that's my favorite game. So I'm gonna do something like that. Yeah. I hope it can be at least a fraction of the size of that game. But that's my goal, is to make it pretty big. As for, no, I very much am doubting me. But the theme, I'm pretty set on this. If nothing else is set in stone and is subject to change, this is not. The theme of the game, the vibe, is going to be 80s fantasy. Like all of this stuff. Labyrinth, Never-Ending Story, Return to Oz, these random music videos. This is going to be the world of the video game. And I have some ideas floating around in my head of what the story's going to be. But that's what I have so far. I'm not going to do the compilation thing. I might have some mini games in there, but Christian Link, Oh, yeah. I don't know why the shield has a cross on it. But yeah, in those first couple games, there was weird stuff in those games. All right. I think that's it for me today. I think we're done. Would you like? Yeah. I'm afraid so. I'll be back next week doing the same stuff. So, hopefully, off stream I learn how to use Godot a little bit. Maybe. And we'll be able to get somewhere and actually make the game. Yeah, you learn as much as you can because I might not get very far. We'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna do a raid. Let's see who's up. Oh, quite a few people. Will you let me raid? They will. We're gonna go see Rabbit Punches because it's been a while. So say hi to Rabbit Punches when we get over there. I'll be there too for a few minutes at least until I slip out without saying anything because that's what I do. Because I'm a creep like that. Okay. We'll see you next week. Good night, whatever you are.